MrTLexify might have actually just beaten the allegations. Holy shit, this is insane. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. I made a video recently of my letter to MrTLexify, and that was just basically just saying, like, if you have evidence, like, please come out, and if all of this is true, I would recommend you stay off of YouTube. But Lex has just uploaded a video a couple hours ago titled My Ex. It is a 33-ish minute video about his side of the situation. Lex drops some absolute fucking bombshells in here. So let's just go over a few points. I'm not going to make my video 30 minutes. Let's just go over a few points. Starting off with the infamous letter that Reagan shared where Lex calls himself Dada all the fucking time. Lex proved that letter to be fake. He points out that it is signed by editit.tv when in all actuality the name is called Velvet Platform LLC, which, I mean, that's kind of concrete proof that that is faked by Reagan just to defame Lex even more. Lex also claims that JC, Backfire, and Noah J have both cheated on their partners. Noah J was also seen inviting Mini Lad, a known predator, to one of his DJ parties, and coincidentally these two were in Pat's response video. The main reason the Z House 3 never happened, according to this, as to what I can tell, I'm not sure if I have the full story here, Noah J invited Pat, Lex, and JC to a Z House 3 meetup, and Noah was caught. Noah was caught being with another woman other than his current, at the time, partner, which then put all the plans on hold for Z House 3, and then it never happened. Lex claims that all and any attacks on Reagan were purely self-defense, as Reagan was having all sorts of manic episodes and attacking Lex, destroying properties on Airbnb, places like that, and which Lex paid for, and he also says the Airbnb owner talked about the damages with Lex. Something Lex brought up was also that Lex did not lie about going to his cousin's house at the time of the Z House. Pat said Lex was going to his cousin's house when he was actually going up to meet Reagan. Lex claims these were false, and that yes, he was going to meet his cousin, but he also went to see Reagan a couple times as well. Lex was also being blackmailed by Reagan by a video that never even existed. He said that she had a video of Lex being abusive and choking her, but she later claims in her document that she did not ever have a video, but in these text messages that Lex show on screen, we can see that she is blackmailing him with a video that does not even exist. She never recorded them, but yet she's using that video that Lex still thinks is a thing as a way just to get more money out of him, and Lex was broke at the time and could barely even pay for his own hotel or place to live. Now, the bruised leg that Reagan showed as quote-unquote proof of Lex abusing her and putting all of his weight onto her leg.
These photos are fake, as at the time we were moving from one apartment complex to another. Reagan claims this event took place on June 6, 2023, with a photo being taken on June 7, 2023. I had taken a picture of movers spending the entire day and night on June 6th, the supposed event of physical abuse, moving our stuff from her old apartment into the new one. On June 7th, we were also not in our old place, where she took this photo of her bruised leg. There was no time for any of these accusations to have taken place, and if something did occur, the movers would have noticed. Reagan was in 3 separate car accidents in Los Angeles during 2022 to 2023. These bruises were from these car accidents when we lived in our old apartment where I was not in the car at the time. Reagan had also messaged a fan of hers regarding why the bruise was there in a Twitter post in 2023, which she has now deleted. She also has Instagram evidence of her showing that bruise in a photo in 2022 before this incident could have ever occurred.
Lex also claims that most of the quote-unquote kinks were because of her. She had a kink of all of that kind of stuff that Lex was calling himself and she was calling Lex. That was supposedly her kinks. Lex was also not actually a pay pig. He was being blackmailed by her to send her money all the time, which Lex even confirms he could not pay for his own expenses, but he had to pay her to keep her mouth shut. Now, as for the video with the weed and her and Lex in the same video, with Reagan claiming that Lex had bought her first weed paraphernalia, Lex shows proof of her friends buying that for her and not Lex. Lex also claims that she had asked Lex to lie about the age of her to the Z House crew, this being Jack, Matt, Pat, and Chucky. She was supposedly the one who asked Lex to lie. Now, this is where it starts to get really fucking sad. So Lex was talking about Pat's response video towards all the allegations. He brings up the fact that he DM'd Pat to ask him if he wanted his side of the story, and Pat read the message but yet did not ask Lex about his side of the story or anything about that. Pat just blindly put out his video without hearing the other side of the story, which has a fuck ton of actual information, doesn't seem to be fabricated, and has a lot of evidence behind it.
I would like to state, Pat, that I did send you a message privately on your Twitter before you made this statement public, in which you saw, but you chose not to respond and hear my side of events and Reagan's roommate's side of events.
Keep in mind, Pat and Lex have been friends since like what, 2012, 2011, around the Black Ops 1 Zombies era, and it's wild that friends of that long, of almost 10, 12 years at this point, wouldn't even hear each other out. That is extremely sad to see from Pat, that Pat would not even try to hear him out.
Wanting to hear anything I had to say and painting my ex-girlfriend in a benevolent light when there's evidence of her clearly being a pedophile was a direct punch to my gut after calling you my best friend for many years.
Pat states in his video that he looked at all the evidence, but he did not even want to try to look at the evidence that Lex had to defend himself. Pat had all the evidence from Reagan and not Lex, which can easily be misconstrued and painted in a completely different light than what actually occurred with what Lex has put out so far. Now, at this point, Lex also brings out the fact that Noah J cheated on Martina at the same time that the Z House 3 was supposed to happen.
Z House, yet nothing was ever filmed because Noah cheated on Martina in 2021 at EDC, and you and JC were utterly supportive of him.
Lex brings up that Pat and JC were both supportive of Noah throughout this whole thing, even though Noah was clearly in the wrong and cheated on Martina. Lex feels that there is a bunch of favoritism between Pat, Noah, and JC, as JC and Pat both supported Noah throughout the Martina cheating allegations, but they would not even listen to Lex at all and not even reach out to hear his side of the story. They blindly believed Noah and supported him throughout the whole thing, but they will not support Lex for no reason. I think it's just because all of this with Lex went public and they did not want to be associated with that. And I feel like Pat's video may have just been a way to save face for himself.
I had moved to the same apartment complex as JC in 2022 and even shared about my abuse with him, and he did absolutely nothing and actively avoided me. This is why you unfollowed me on Twitter 2 years ago.
Lex also claims that he shared his abuse and how toxic that Reagan was towards him with JC, and JC was not supportive at all. Keep in mind, he was supportive with Noah J throughout that whole thing, but he would not support Lex, even though Lex had shared proof with JC about Reagan's toxicity towards Lex. JC clearly states in this text message that he does not care about Reagan and what she has done to Lex. Lex also reveals that JC has unfollowed him from Twitter 2 years ago, and that is just kind of insane to me, dude. How do you unfollow someone that you've been through so much with just over this? The amount of pettiness that have come from Pat and JC throughout this whole thing is astonishing, and it's painting them in a completely different light now, in my opinion. JC has pointed out to be even more petty, as he would not even sign a recommendation letter to get Lex's visa. That is just wild. As someone who's supposed to be your friend and wouldn't even take 10 minutes out of their entire day to not help a friend out like that, that's fucking mad, bro. Now, Lex drops an absolute bombshell about JC Backfire. JC Backfire, apparently, according to Reagan, JC had cheated on his girlfriend and Reagan had saw it. Reagan says that she saw JC cheating on Emmy with Emmy's sister Kate. That is an insane allegation, and it's again is painting JC out to be a completely different person than who we actually thought he was. JC would not support Lex throughout a toxic and abusive relationship, but then he would go and touch his current girlfriend's sister, whose name is Kate, at an event and would openly do that. But yet he would not hear out Lex at all and would take part in these actions and support someone like Reagan at the same time as cheating on someone. That is fucking wild, dude. And this was fucking funny. Noah J invited a fucking mini lad. Fucking mini lad, bro. What is he? So this is actually really wild and a great save from Lex. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but you can choose to believe this, you can choose not to. The infamous minoring text message that was going around the whole internet and everyone got a hold of Apparently, according to Lex, 5G did not exist at this time. And a small note to add is that Reagan had told Lex to rehire the Don. Reagan was pressuring Lex into doing so. Reagan is seen here convincing Lex to rehire him when Lex had already fired him, and she later comes out in her document to say that Lex was still working with the Don when she clearly pressured him into doing that. Lex also goes on to state that he is not trying to use Christianity as a way to escape from it. He also laughs at the fact that Reagan claimed that Lex spent thousands of dollars on OnlyFans when Lex did not even make that money, and he was already paying Reagan all this money, so how would he actually afford that much? He doesn't even make that much on YouTube, according to him. Lex also goes on to show how much money he has sent Reagan, as she has blackmailed him for so long, and that she has never once filed a single police report about Lex, but yet she will siphon him up for money and all of this bullshit. Lex claims he got the law involved in 2022 after the physical assault that he received from a dude that was being verbally abused by Reagan, so that whole street fight was caused by Reagan. And regarding the girl on Skype named Alex, I mean, that obviously was just nothing. It was a whole nothing burger. Alex was just someone who Lex confided in after a recent breakup with Reagan, and there was nothing sexual about it. There was nothing like that with Alex over Skype, and she even said it herself. There was nothing to do with sexual activity with Lex. So I mean, I knew right when that was posted that was just for attention, and it's most likely the same reason Reagan did it. But I mean, this video is getting too long. If you want to go watch Lex's video, it will be linked in the description. Please give it a watch and form your own opinions. In my opinion, I think Lex has done an amazing thing here. I think if he just let this blow over and try to return, this would not have gone as well, as evident by the like and dislike ratio here. Take a look. I mean, a lot of people are on his side, and I kind of am too. Even in my last video regarding Lex's situation, a horrible thing that has happened between both parties, and I wanted Lex to make a video like this with a whole lot of new evidence regarding his side of the story, and I was not expecting all that dirt on Pat, JC, and Noah, and it's really sad to see that they have gone apart from Lex after all of these years of being with him, and just because of fake allegations. All of the evidence in this video kind of confirms to me that this was just all fake by Reagan for publicity and relevancy regarding Lex's name. I think it is a horrible thing that Reagan has done to Lex to defame him, and I think if Lex does actually take this to court, which he says that he has gotten the law involved and there is an ongoing case right now, he could definitely win. His stats, he has taken so many subscriber count losses, he has taken so many unfollows on Twitter, he lost editors, he lost clip makers, he lost his friends. That's gotta hurt, man. That's gotta hurt. It'll hurt your business and it'll hurt you mentally. The reason Lex took so long on this video was because he was going through a lot of mental anguish because of all the people telling him to kill himself and calling him a pedophile. And he went to seek psychiatric help during this time, and he was trying to gather all of the evidence with the lawyers on his side helping him to gather evidence. In my opinion, he is cleared, and I would like to say Crazy Rabbit is a fucking G. Dude got 24 kills and dropped a fucking nuke. Everyone that was against Lex, I hope you can see this differently now, and I hope you can see his side of the story. Again, I'm not going to reiterate every single point because this is not my topic to speak on. I'm not going to make money from this. This is just to kind of give a few quick points and a quick update from my recent video. In the end, I kind of believe that Lex is not completely innocent, but I also agree that he is kind of innocent. I think, yes, he has put his hands on Reagan, but they have been in self-defense, which I think is pretty much justified. And all the money pay pig accusations, all that kind of shit was false because she was blackmailing him with a video that did not exist. All of the abuse was just self-defense. But yeah, make sure to go watch the whole entire video on his channel. The link will be in the description. Thank you for watching this quick summary of it.